All right, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening, my friends. Welcome to Team Silence In-Depth Silent Hill Downpour stream.
Oh, my God. Is that HD collection?
It is. And
Oh.
Homecoming and Skyforce and Soul Calibur 2. But we're not going to be playing any of those wonderful games today. We're playing Silent Hill Downpour.
Wouldn't it be great, though, if we just swerved everybody and we're like, oh, 12 hours of Mega Man. Let's go.
All right. Hope everyone's ready.
Commentated playthrough.
Yeah.
Deep lore discussion of Mega Man.
The deep Mega Man lore. I'm all about it.
Dude, I love that background of, like, Murphy grabbing his head.
Yeah,
that's new.
Me too. That's new.
That's how I feel every time I boot this game up. It's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly, right? But that's kind of the funny thing is they added these little wallpapers to the Xbox One like startup screen. There's one for Homecoming and one for HD Collection as well.
Yeah. That's something that they did with like everything, because I've noticed when I booted Red Dead Redemption up on the Xbox One, it also has a splash screen like that. So I think they just started adding everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Raven is going to be a little bit late. He streamed. Peachy asked in chat about Ravenheart. He's going to be a little bit late. He was doing his own stream because we all still have our own streams we operate, and he was on pretty late. But he'll join us momentarily. He won't be that late, but he won't be here for the beginning. But Maxie is also here, but he's muted at the moment. But he is with us, so he'll be also joining us momentarily. For right now, it's me, Nub, and UFO Techie.
Yep, we're holding it down. We're starting it off.
We got it.
And I'm going to let this intro roll because, of course, I'm going to let the intro roll. We're covering everything we can for Downpour today. And I don't have any guides or anything like that next to me. It's been a long time since I've done, like, really any of the side quests. So it'll be fun.
Been a while for me.
It'll be fun going through
been years for me, don't
just
worry.
kind of like playing casually and going through and doing everything. But hey, corn.
I'm gonna do alerts.
Behold, corn.
What the hell's going on here, Rex? What is this place? Wicked old beast, ain't she?
Yeah, and thanks everybody who's here, everybody who's watching, everybody supporting the channel and supporting us. But alerts are going to be disabled for the stream. It just gets way too distracting.
Yeah, we would love to acknowledge everybody, but with all of us interacting with each other, it would just be, it would be crazy.
Yeah, constantly stopping and losing where we're at in conversations.
Yeah, it's something we're very mindful of, though.
But we absolutely see it all. Like we see chat, we see alerts.
I got chat open right now. I see Gentleman with my face next to it, so I see it. I see chat. I see you.
Yeah. Did you ever really notice the blanket of shame?
Yeah, I try to do it a lot.
Remember that that like fireworks incident? I think it was in some big city where like they let off the entire nice 4th of July fireworks in like 20 seconds. We need to do that with alerts before the stream starts.
Yeah. Just bump them all out.
Yeah, just blast them all out nonstop.
Oh god.
That would be pretty funny if we could like pause them or cue them, and then at just one moment, like during a break,
just during break, like let them all run.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that. See if there's some way we can do that in the future.
But yeah, speaking of blanket of shame, yeah, I know the blanket of shame because I bought this game the day it came out, so
yeah.
I'm very aware of that blanket of shame.
So did I.
And just for the record, we're not going to spend the whole stream like ripping on the game.
No.
I'm just making jokes. So there's actually a lot to talk about on this game. What, in my opinion, way more than the other 3 games that we just did.
Actually, so that's where I'm kind of torn with Downpour. anybody who's watched my channel before, anybody who's seen my story playthroughs, I think the last story playthrough I did, I titled it Story Complain Through. You guys know I don't like Downpour. But that does not mean that I don't think the game has any merit. Like, a lot of people tend to confuse that. Like, you can dislike a game and still appreciate certain aspects of it.
Absolutely.
And Downpour is one of those games. Downpour has a lot of stuff that I do appreciate and that I do think is well done. I just don't think it's enough to make it a good game, particularly a good Silent Hill game.
And I'll keep right on going.
But that's what we're going to be getting into. Why we don't think it measures up to the other ones by comparison. Why I don't think it's as good standing on its own. Yeah, and we'll start all that right now. Press that start button to begin.
Yep. And unlike the last few streams that we did, there's not really a lot of external documentation, which in my opinion, well, aside from
A little bit.
the little book of comic, but
And
there's not
that's-
like a website tucked away with extra
No.
information you really need. But there is a comic book, but
And it's just as bad. It's as I said, it's the same problem though. It's a different format. It's a different format. It's not a diary on the Konami website that was only available when the game launched. It's a comic book that you can still buy. And by the way, we'll be giving away copies of that comic book throughout the stream.
sure will.
So if anybody is interested in that Anne Story comic, which, as said, we'll be talking a lot about, it fills in pretty much all of the holes that this game has.
Yeah.
So we'll be giving away some copies of that throughout the stream. Some mostly digital copies, and also one print copy.
Do we? I should have asked before we went live. Do we have a chat command for that, or just any kind of timer command for the giveaway?
No, I don't. We're absolutely just kind of winging this.
Just winging it? Yeah, because I didn't even think of that until just now.
Yeah, I didn't really have time to.
I can just manually remind people.
Yeah. So I figured we'll just mention it throughout the stream.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, and then pretty much whenever we go to like take a break, it'd be like every 2-3 hours, something like that. We'll stop before we before we take a break and give something away.
Do you know how many we have to give away?
Yes. So we're going to be in total giving away 4 digital copies of Anne's Story and 1 physical print copy. Now the physical print copy, that's only going to be available to people in the US, unfortunately, because shipping costs are ridiculous.
Yep.
Anywhere else. It literally like triples the cost of the comic. So I'm sorry. That's why we're also doing digital versions that anybody anywhere in the world can claim. So, but yeah, we'll be giving away a physical print. And by the way, these books, like they're not just a short little throwaway comic. There's 4 volumes, and each volume is about 20 pages.
Yeah, it's pretty significant.
So it's about 80 pages worth of total comic. It covers a lot of stuff.
Someone's asking if you can sign it. Crimson Rosebud asks.
I mean, technically, sure.
I guess we can go over that with whoever
Yeah,
gets.
whoever winds up getting it, if they want something like that. Otherwise, I was just gonna have it. I was gonna basically pay for it and have it shipped directly to you. It'll never interact with me really, but I could do that. Signed by Tom Hewlett. That I don't know if I could help with. Ask him on Twitter.
Yeah, he's on Twitter. And be nice. Be nice.
Oh, excuse me. But yeah, who's ready to start up some Silent Hill Downpour?
I'm ready. I've been
Oh,
ready.
yeah, so-
I couldn't shut up about this last night on my stream. I'm ready.
Before I forget, just because this came up like a day or 2 ago, someone was streaming this and asked if the intro theme was the entire Korn band or just Jonathan Davis.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you guys have like heard that before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in game it is credited as Korn, like Korn.
Yep.
But on the OST they just credit Jonathan Davis specifically.
Yes. And on the Spotify track for this song is on Spotify. It's only credited as Jonathan Davis as well. So
Yeah, so it's kind of weird, right?
yeah.
Like,
And I'm gonna say the game got that wrong. It's supposed to just be Jonathan Davis.
I think that's I think that's a marketing thing. I think that's a publicity thing. You would think they would. I mean, it's not a very wise marketing thing, but that's a different discussion. But it is a marketing thing where Jonathan Davis was the guy who wrote the song for him, and he the lead singer of Korn, but the whole band wasn't involved. It was just Jonathan Davis. But if you just put Jonathan Davis, majority of people are just going to go, who?
Yeah.
I thought that was Korn. That sounded like Korn to me.
And I remember before the game came out, they were talking about Korn. Like, oh, Korn's gonna do this. Like I remember Tom Hewlett in interviews saying, oh, Korn is gonna do this and that.
Hey, speaking of Tom Hewlett in interviews, and again, this is not a Tom Hewlett bashing stream.
Absolutely not.
Nobody should be bashing or hating on Tom the way that he gets hate. Like that is one thing. It's all whatever and good fun to jest about game devs and people like that. There's so many people like that who kind of make characters of themselves. You look at like Todd Howard and people like that.
Yeah.
Tom definitely doesn't deserve a lot of the hate that he gets, especially for a company that he was involved with 6 years ago.
Yeah. Anything that I've ever said about Tom Hewlett is strictly just professional fun poking, like that stupid little press conference that I did on my YouTube channel. Nobody should be taking that seriously. That was just something me and my friend decided to do one day.
Right. And I've made my share of jokes and things like that on stream, but I never mean any of that by anything more than jest. Tom's actually he's a super cool guy. On like a lot of his later interviews, he's talked a lot about his kind of past relationship with Konami, where that was people above him kind of telling him what he was supposed to say during a lot of interviews, because they didn't give him a marketing budget. It was like just him and Devin Shatsky had to go out and do interviews to try to promote their games. It was a really shitty situation, and he caught the worst of it. Not saying that he's like completely faultless, and he's definitely said some things on his own and done some things on his own that were questionable for the series and for the games, but it's not enough to warrant fucking death threats or anything like that like the guy was getting. It's totally
ridiculous. It's
uncalled for.
It's like Food Pyramid just said his interviews definitely didn't help him, but at the same time, he's talking about video games, and that we have to remember that. And I've actually had one very brief private conversation with him a few years ago, and he was really nice. And that's all I can say. So
right. And
he came off a lot more like chill privately, and it almost seemed like a different person privately. So that's all I can say about him. He was really nice to me in private. So, and I definitely recognize that.
And
he had to be under a lot of pressure too. That's something a lot of people
it's no easy task being that part, especially kind of being the face of the development of a game, especially such a beloved series like Silent Hill. I love this series, and I would absolutely love to work on a future entry, but I don't know if I'd want to be the face out there saying this is the new latest and greatest best Silent Hill game you've ever played, because that's what Konami told me to say.
He definitely didn't help himself, like with that blog post he put out during Book of Memories where he taunted all the fan base. So that didn't help, but
things like that. But on the other hand, what I initially wanted to get to is that Tom, we had a little bit of an interaction on Twitter regarding some stuff in this game. So there's a lot of new information that I'm going to bring to this that I didn't have on previous Silent Hill Downpour playthroughs, thanks to Tom answering questions and talking about information and stuff on Twitter. So again, it's like you can hate on people all you want, but not all game developers will give you the time of day if you ask questions, and he does. So that says something about like his person, his character.
Yeah.
He'll still talk and interact with fans who threaten to kill him. Because to him, like, we're just part of the general angry Silent Hill fan base. The fact that he acknowledges us and answers questions and stuff at all says a lot about his character. So much thanks to Tom for answering a lot of questions and giving a lot of insight to some of the cut content and material from the game. And also to Neko Run. Quick shout out to Neko Run, who does Silent Hill Downpour speedruns and game hacking, and hacked into the Downpour game files, found a lot of cool new information, and a lot of that was stuff that Tom was responding to and giving more insight into. So, as said, when we get to more stuff like that, we're going to have plenty to talk about. What are we playing on?
I don't know. To me, all of the action difficulties are the same.
Yes, I'm glad it's not just me. Action difficulty on this game feels very, very limited from difficulty to difficulty.
When I
Things
first
take
played this
like
game,
a couple more hits to kill, and you die like in a hit or two less. But that's about it.
That's about it. When I first played this game, it was on normal. And I told people back at the time, or during the time, I said, this is one of the only games that I will recommend you play on easy because normal is ridiculous. But then I played easy mode, and it didn't seem that much different. And a few months ago, I finally played this on hard mode on stream, and I was very underwhelmed. It almost felt exactly the same.
Yeah, it's barely any difference. There's a few little parts in particular that are kind of more noticeable than others, but for the most part, game mechanics don't change. Enemies don't behave differently. Ammo and health item placements don't change.
Yeah, all that's the same.
Everything stays exactly the same. It's just enemy health values and enemy damage values change.
Yep.
Puzzles
difficulty, pretty much same.
Puzzles, it's kind of the same problem. There's a little bit more variance, but items will be in a little bit different place, a little less, directly in your path, and codes and things will be slightly more complex, but for the most part, it doesn't really do a whole lot.
You want to do... Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's just not much change.
Yeah.
It's really... Normally, I would say normal action, hard puzzle, but I mean, it's not really any different, in my opinion.
Let's just do a maybe down the middle... Normal. I can't remember the last time I did just a regular normal playthrough of Downpour.
And if we're really playing this to kind of go in depth about the game, we don't need it to be. It might behoove us to have less of a restriction as possible.
Oh, sure. But this game also doesn't punish you horribly for dying. There's checkpoints like every 5 seconds. Normally, it lags the shit out of the game because it's constantly saving and loading.
And we are on an Xbox One, correct?
Yes, we are. Just to reduce that lag and stutter and make the game a little bit smoother and crisper looking. Some of those textures that load in a little bit quicker. You still see them because it's the Unreal Engine. You still see the blank, like, low-res texture Murphy face that, like, fades into the high-res texture. But it's not quite as noticeable. Things load in a little quicker. See, like that? It, like, loads the hallway, and everything is low-res for a second.
Yeah.
All right, Murphy, it's all set. Make it quick, huh? Follow me.
Okay. So now I'm in control. Bye, Sewell.
But are you really in control?
I'm just gonna stand in the corner.
Somebody,
it's deep, man.
I'm in timeout.
We have a question in chat. You're doing side quests?
Yes. I don't know if I'll finish everything, but I'm gonna go around, try to do side quests, try to do everything extra as much as we can. Obviously, if the playthrough starts getting to ridiculous lengths, we'll hurry things up. But I am going to be trying to cover as much as we can, and we will definitely be getting to all the critical story.
He's all yours now.
Yeah.
Make it quick, Cupcake.
Make it quick,
Hey,
Cupcake.
almost forgot. I left you a little present on the bench.
Side quests in this
Have
game are a
fun.
little easier to tackle, I think, if you know what you're doing and what you're looking for. But if you go into this kind of blind, it's going to be really daunting.
Yeah, I've done all the side quests and stuff before, but it's been, as said, it's been
Long time.
2012. Pretty much not since I got this
You're not
game.
changing your mind, are you?
I'm not changing my mind. I'm just staring into those beautiful eyes of yours, Sewell. You wear contacts or
He looks
those-
so unnatural.
He really does. On the one hand, though,
Are we
like
going to do this, or are you just
No.
wasting my time?
I like he sits here and starts getting more and more aggravated.
Yeah.
Here's a little weird thing. You can go inside and he starts talking to you on the intercom,
Oh yeah.
but he's just standing right there.
He's still just right there, not near an intercom at all.
Nope. There's not even an intercom on that wall or in that room.
Yeah, a few people in chat are pointing out something I didn't even notice. He's not even blinking. He's just they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
blink. Good eye there.
So he's just
Good
there.
eyes there. No pun intended.
It's kind of doing the Homecoming thing where like their mouth will like flap around when they talk, but nothing else really moves.
Yeah. So you only have to turn on 3 of these before it lets you progress. But I'm turning them all on.
Yeah, we turn them all on.
Extra steam, please. So with the weird stuff going on with Sewell telepathically talking to you and all that kind of stuff, anything odd during the sequence, you could technically write it off. Because, as we're going to find out, it's a dream sequence. Who would have thought to start a Silent Hill game with a dream sequence?
Never heard of it ever.
You're getting downpoured on.
I am. I just want to look at these really good wet fabric textures.
Oh,
Look at that. Look at the cloth sticking to Murphy's back and like rippling when he walks.
that reminds me. I'm going through a casual playthrough of Resident Evil 0 on my channel right now, and in the beginning when you're in a train car, it's raining outside, and every time Rebecca or Billy look out the window, they always call it a downpour, and we were all having fun with that.
Oh, there he is. Louis Anderson.
Scared the hell out of me. What the hell's going on? Where's Sewell? There's been a mistake. I'm a sequestered prisoner. You're not supposed to be here. Guards? Officer Sewell? Hello?
You don't recognize me, do you?
What? No, Guards! Guards! Anybody?
We used to be neighbors.
Guards! Guards, open the goddamn door! Help somebody! This is a violation of my rights. Who the hell do you think you are? When I talk to the warden,
No one's listening.
Help! Jesus, help me!
Someone in chat said he looks like a pug. You're not wrong. Good comparison.
He
Didn't even think
does.
of
He
that.
has that kind of
Does.
misshapen face. That's one thing I started to talk about when Techie mentioned how unnatural Sewell looks.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters do look very unnatural and strange. Patrick Napier here, definitely one of them. JP Sater is kind of weird looking. Honestly, I like it. I like the character design of this game. I really
memorable.
do. I really do. I like the characters and the way they're set up to look. You know, Murphy, I think, is a fine looking character. Anne Cunningham, like there's not really any characters. Let me rephrase that. There's not really any adult characters in this game that I dislike.
True. We'll get to that later.
Kids, they're not
Same.
so good at.
I'm loving this walking animation.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
just had to step out for a minute. Yeah, he's got
Hello.
that lean.
It's looking hot.
Maxie's here. Can we get some Maxie Pogs in the chat? If you got them.
He's getting his exercise.
Doing some jumping jacks. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look at him. Look at those moves Napier's got. I can't even straight.
He has like targeting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell he's a speedrunner.
Oh, you know what? Because it's similar to the enemies lock on. The way the
Oh, yeah,
enemies
yeah,
kind of
that's right.
follow you. So he's essentially programmed like an enemy, just without any attacks. Boink.
Yeah, so if they
Now what? Have you learned your
we could just
lesson,
get that
Napier?
model swap.
Have you learned your lesson, Napier? I'll hit you a second time.
The
Look at that
Six-
giant spray of blood from like one hit. Boink.
worth noting, signature moves in chat said mod to play as him. That reminds me to let everyone know they never released a PC version of this game. It only came
No.
out on the PS3 and 360. That's it.
Yeah, the closest we ever got to a PC release of this was a fan who ripped a bunch of the assets from Downpour and made a fan game called Silent Hill: The Gallows.
Oof. I remember watching you play that. And
Yeah, it was shit.
Yeah, that was really bad.
it was hot Garbo.
I mean, it was obvious that was somebody's like first attempt at like making a game or something. But if they had the know-how to just rip Downpour assets, they should have just made a fan port of Downpour for the PC instead of making Gallows.
Trying to kill me.
I mean, I don't know.
Whatever. Konami ceased and desisted anyway. So
Yeah, I was gonna say they shut down that PT redo, so
yeah.
shut anything down.
Did you see there was like supposedly a thing where they offered that person a job?
An internship.
An internship, that's what it was.
That's what it was. They offered him an internship. I think it was only like a 19-year-old guy. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
and so the joke going around was, oh, they're gonna not pay him to learn how to make patch slots,
Mhm.
and then probably release him in 6 months.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I actually have a Silent Hill patch slot. Just to let you know. And I'm working on trying to get video, like directly output from it, so we can look and see what that game really holds.
That'll be so sweet.
Why.
It was all a dream.
Did I wake you, Pendleton?
East Street Word Up magazine.
Oh, look. There's water.
Come on, rise and
You
shine,
get it?
Cupcake, you know the drill.
It's downpouring inside of his cell.
This is deep.
Or he clogged his toilet.
I mean, this is like presumably the real world, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Like that's like significant flooding
Sorta sorry to see
Yeah.
on what like the 5th or 6th floor of the prison.
That's it. I'm guessing he clogged his toilet.
One more fuck you before they take him away.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's
And
going on max anyways.
That's something I've never really even paid that much attention to. But yeah, there's totally water in this prison cell.
Oh yeah, of
Well-
course Murphy's prisoner cell number is 302B.
302B, yeah.
Rachel pointed that out in chat. That is
That's another thing I never really paid attention to. The credits just distract me.
Too distracted thinking about how they have all of these, like, you know,
forced.
no, all the letters for the, you know, the Czech employees, but they couldn't reverse the R in corn in the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I like this part. All the little bits of dialogue, the other prisoners
Yeah.
yelling at Murphy as he leaves.
And they will, like, if you go through here slowly, they'll all
They all say stuff, yeah. I won't forget that shit you did for me.
Almost kind of hinting at something, but not really.
Almost, but yeah, it's one of those things that if this had been a little better thought out, there could be some interesting dialogue here hinting at like stuff that Murphy did in his past and his relationship with these other prisoners and stuff like that. Nah, let's just have him pace back and forth and go, "You're my boy."
Before we get too deep into the game, do you want to talk about, or should we talk about what Vatra Games did before this?
Sure, if you want to go into that. We talked about that before.
Yeah, we talked about it in Shattered Memories, and it really kind of fascinated me. So, this game is developed by a developer called Vatra Games. They were formed, and I want to make sure I have my information here correct. They were formed back in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
They're based in the Czech Republic. They only made 2 games in their entire history. Now, before they made Downpour, there's an old Konami arcade intellectual property called Russian Attack. I think we're a little familiar with that. This came up during Shattered Memories because when you're in the movie theater, you see a whole bunch of arcades with references to their old arcade IPs. So they made a game called Russian Attack Expatriate for the PS3 and the Xbox 360 that came out a year before this game. It reviewed extremely poorly. I think on Metacritic, it's got 47% on the PS3, which is not good. And then they went on to make this game. And after this game came out, they closed. So there's the history of Vatra Games.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of days at Wayside Max.
Wayside
I bet
Max.
You'll start to miss this place after all.
And at some point, I do want to get a copy of Russian Attack X Guardian and play it because a lot of the visual style that they
Very
use in
similar.
Downpour, very similar to Russian Attack
Yeah.
EX Guardian.
It's obviously like different camera angles, like different perspective and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's very similar graphically looking in a lot of spots.
And I'm sorry, I meant Expatriate, not X Guardian, but I definitely want to.
Yeah.
I want to give it a whirl and see what's up.
Yeah, I've never played it myself. I've played like the old original Russian Attack, but
Is it backward compatible? Let me check that out.
oh man,
I didn't
that
even
would be
think of
surprising. So, just to kind of catch up, since we are talking a little bit over the story and stuff, but so that whole intro sequence with Patrick Napier winds up being a dream,
All yours now, sugar.
which may or may not have been something that actually happened, depending on what ending you get.
All right. You heard the
But
lady?
right now, just to fill in on what's kind of happening here, we're seeing
There's gonna
Murphy.
be a lot of that.
Yeah. So we're
By the
seeing Murphy Pendleton, who is an inmate here at
Pendleton.
Ryall State Prison, and he's currently being transferred to Wayside Maximum
bus.
Penitentiary, which is the prison that this corrections officer here, Ann Cunningham, works at. Now, her father, Officer Coolridge, used to work here at Ryall, the prison that Murphy's in and Sewell's in. We're going to learn more about Anne. We're going to learn more about Anne's father, Officer Coolridge, and what kind of happened with them and Murphy and Sewell, why this prisoner transfer is happening, all of that stuff we're going to get into. But that's what's happening right now.
And much to the disappointment of everybody, Russian Attack Expatriate is not backward compatible on Xbox.
sad.
I was hoping it would be.
Oh, sad.
That's
It's available on Xbox Marketplace. I think it's $15 still. I'm not sure. It's there. I definitely want to give it a whirl. Oh, it's only $10. Okay. On 360 and PS3 digital.
So they're still riding on the bus. This is one of the problems I do have with the way these cutscenes and stuff are paced out. Is some of them are poorly edited, unnecessarily long. There's a difference between having like a long scene to build up suspense and atmosphere and having an unnecessary 15 seconds of they're on a bus.
Did you really do it?
Shut
It's
the
raining.
hell up.
Fuck you, Güero.
I said lock it up, damn it!
If only the driver hadn't been looking back at the prisoners for like 7 seconds straight.
Yeah, he's turned around for like a long time. And he's driving a prison bus. Like, he should be used to commotion happening in the back. Just ignore it, man. Drive the bus. You have one job.
You know, while it's raining out and he's driving on like this cliffside.
And somehow,
Okay, think.
Murphy
Find
survives
a
the
way.
crash.
Put some ground between yourself and the bus.
Everyone else was disintegrated.
Looks fine.
And I just realized in the scene right there where he's getting up off the ground here, you can see his handcuffs on the ground in front of him. And then once you're actually in the game, they're just kind of gone. Never really, like, get too particular about how he got out of his cuffs. Damn, that part's, like, broke off and embedded into the ground. Like a whole corner of the bus. This corner. There we go. Ryall State Correctional Facility. That's how we know where we were coming from. You can also, if you pause it and look really close, you can see it on Anne Cunningham's clipboard when she stops Murphy before getting on the bus. It also says what state they're in. It's Maine. Who would have thought? I thought Silent Hill was in Pennsylvania, right? Or West Virginia, sorry.
Yeah. That's the rumor.
That's what the internet says. So, already, it's kind of like small stuff, but I have to complain about it.
I love that command.
Yeah. I knew it was, the time was right to just think that.
Yeah. So,
Guess I'm not going that way.
guess I'm not going that way. There's no way I could go that way. It would be impossible for me to step over this tree.
Considering the amount of gymnastics he's about to do in like 20 seconds,
Yeah.
a little far-fetched.
As said, it's kind of a small thing, but it's like it's Silent Hill, dude. You don't even
Yeah.
have to come up with a good reason to wall off an area. Just there's a hole in the ground. The ground has collapsed. There's no more ground over there. You can't go that way. But why put a fucking like foot diameter tree that you could easily step over and make that your invisible wall?
Yeah, and when you go into the water, I'm pretty sure you'll show it. Like, there's just some invisible barriers in the water. Like, they don't even put up a thing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that where it'll just kind of
It stops you.
stop you from moving. Certain areas will just not let you go through.
Yeah, I think this part right here.
This has it'll actually tell you like it's too cold or something.
Too cold. Yeah, does it? Yeah, because I'm on 3-second delay.
No, he
Does
hasn't.
it?
He hasn't said it here. Maybe it's. Oh, you know
I
what?
think it's another area.
It's another area. It's over by
this
the
one-
boat.
Yeah, this one right here, straight up invisible barrier. Doesn't even say anything.
Yep.
That'll come in handy.
Did you notice that there was a radio there?
It's hard to notice sometimes. It's easy to miss.
So that's kind of an interesting thing. I gotta admit, I sort of like that about this game. There's not just one, radio. What's going on with that radio? There's not just one flashlight. And I mean, if you think about that practically, yeah, if you're in a populated area, there's a good chance you can find more than one radio. You can find more than one flashlight. You'd be able to get these things multiple times. And that's what Downpour does. It makes them all over the place. There's flashlights, there's radios, there's different things you can pick up. And there's parts of the game where you'll lose those items and then you gotta find them again. But it also makes them all optional. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. Like, if you want to play through this game and never, ever, ever pick up a flashlight, you can.
Yep.
My very first time playing this game, I didn't know that there was a radio. I missed every single radio in the game my first time playing.
It's very easy to miss.
Ooh, look at that poor guy. Look at that like Resident
That's what
Evil.
Ravenheart's doing.
Look at that Resident Evil
That's what-
cutscene.
yeah.
That close up with the bird pecking on the guy and Murphy in the background. That felt like a Resident Evil static camera.
This didn't happen in the accident.
Yeah, it does.
This
Raven,
didn't
get back here.
This didn't happen in the accident. How can you tell? Did the bird do it? The bird must have carried him over here and started to eat him.
I think the bird wrecked the bus.
This where it says it's too cold? There it is.
Cold.
My ankles are too cold. You're trying to escape prison, man. How desperate are you to be free?
Yeah, it's not like you're trying to get out of work early. You're trying to escape prison.
Yeah,
Pretty
you're not having a fun picnic lakeside going for a swim. You're trying to escape prison, man. Who cares how cold the water is? Fucking get out of here. Go somewhere. Escape. Step over trees. He's willing to do this.
This is crazy.
Murphy's willing to balance on a tree while he admits to himself that this is crazy.
Yeah, you could always just yell shit at the top of your lungs and then fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
be
We'll
doing
get to
it.
that. On second thought. Oh.
And worth noting already, this game does not have save points like what you previously remember. It auto saves.
Yep. So how much progress do you think we're going to lose there?
I don't know. We'll see. But that's another thing. This game kind of takes you out. When horror games do that, when they autosave,
Oh, look.
you'll see a little thing come up saying, "Wow, look at that."
It's almost like
there.
It's almost
They're very
like there
generous
was
in their autosave.
Yeah, it's almost like there's no consequence really for
None. But I mean, hey.
I mean, you got to sit through a loading screen. That's your punishment.
Yeah, what Space just said in chat. Whenever a horror game auto saves and it brings up an indicator, it really does remove a little bit of the tension.
Oh,
And this
yeah.
game does that a lot.
It's like, we're just going to save the game right now. Don't worry. Nothing's going to happen. We're just saving. Not planning anything. Don't worry. So, why? Pretty much just why. Why is that in the game?
And it breaks just as you take your foot off.
So I
Off it
mean,
last time.
just in general, like Silent Hill is not really the type of game where I imagine like balancing and
Uncharted.
doing Uncharted things.
Tomb Raider, new Tomb Raider stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
yeah. And it feels like, I don't know, that might have been one of those things they had in mind because people were just sitting around an office planning this game, throwing around the word modern and seeing what things they can attach to that phrase. So somebody would say, what do modern games do? What do we do to make our Silent Hill game modern? And somebody says, well, Uncharted is modern and popular. There's balance segments, climbing segments, Assassin's Creed, you know,
There's another one, yeah.
Tomb Raider, and you know, you kind of look at these different elements, the open world and side quests, and it's like that. It feels very much like you wanted to make a more horror themed Assassin's Creed game more than like a Silent Hill game. It feels like.
Yeah. Uncharted's a good comparison. I'm looking at the release dates. By the time this game came out, it released in America on March 6th, 2012. There had already been 3 Uncharted games released. So good comparison there. The Tomb Raider reboot hadn't been out yet. So maybe that wasn't the best comparison on my part, but Uncharted was definitely very good to this because there'd already been 3 of those games out at this point.
And we'll definitely see some very heavily inspired Uncharted stuff. So you might notice this part's a little bit weird. Like once you cross over, there's nothing obvious here. There's no like path. There's no like ladder or rope or door or whatever. My first time playing this, I was stuck here longer than I'd care to admit. Trying to figure out, like, I can't go back. I can't shimmy across this. There's no button prompts for actions in this game. You just walk up to things and Murphy will do them if he feels like doing them. So it becomes this game of what do I need to run Murphy's face into to progress the game? Turns out it's this wall.
That's far enough.
We're like learning the speedrun, like panicking, getting to that part, and not being able to find where to go.
Hands where I can see him.
Wait, I thought this part was easy.
Take it easy. I'm not going anywhere.
I said, on the ground, now.
She's not a very good officer.
I was just looking for help.
And you just happened to lose your cuffs in the process? Save the bullshit.
Well, she's operating on passion right now instead of logical thoughts.
This is stupid.
That is true.
I'll
It makes
meet you
us
back
all
down
do
at the
dumb
bus,
things.
okay?
That is true.
You're gonna get yourself killed.
Shut up. Keep your goddamn hands where I can see them.
Ah!
Shit!
Marluxia said she should be facing the rock wall. Yeah, but then she can't point her gun at Murphy.
Pull
That's
me
what
up.
good cops do.
Yep.
Got to keep the gun pointed at all times.
Yeah, that unarmed prisoner
With no gun.
better keep a gun on him. All right. So, are we helping her? Are we leaving her?
I don't know.
Remember, we only get 2 of these.
Yeah, we get 2 whole decisions like this in the entire game.
Very
We got a-
blank face here.
We got a really good crowd in here already.
Well-
Maybe we should have chat.
I guess 3. Because you get the last
See a
one.
lot- Oh, okay, yes.
I forgot about that one, yeah.
I see a lot of leave.
I am seeing a lot of leave as well. Clearly paying tribute to their favorite Silent Hill 2 ending.
Sea tickler.
All right. So we're going to do the canon option, which is helper.
Hang on.
I'm slipping.
Okay.
Oh god.
And I'm going to show you why in a moment.
Shit!
Shit.
Damn it.
Damn it. I always joke about that reaction whenever I do streams of this game. Like, it's such an underwhelming response to somebody falling to their death. Even if it's a corrections officer you don't particularly like or anything. But at this point, Murphy doesn't even really know Cunningham. So yeah, Anne Cunningham, we tried to help her. She's a corrections officer at Wayside Max, and she just fell to her death. And I mentioned we tried to help her because that's the canon option. And you might be wondering, well, what do you mean by that? How do you know what's canon? So now it's time, everybody.
Drum roll, please.
So the reason we know that is because of this. So this is the Silent Hill Downpour Anne's Story comic. Give me a moment here. Pull up my other screen. Oh man, come on. There we go. So, this is the Anne Story comic book. This is what we're going to be giving away a couple copies of throughout the stream. And this fills in a lot of plot holes and information and stuff that desperately needed to be in this game. So, we're going to flip through the pages here. We're not reading the entire comic. Twitch is kind of iffy on that as far as like terms of service and stuff goes. It's not super like
The thing is, if you do it too much, it does open you up to a DMCA.
Yes.
If the people that you are, if the people who created it get wind of it, it kind of opens the window for that to happen.
Right.
It's just better to play it safe.
Exactly. And for the people who did make this comic, you can see them right there. Tom Waltz, Tristan T-Rex Jones, Michael Spicer, Neil Uyatake, and Chris Ryall. Ryall, huh?
Ryall, huh? I noticed that before.
Based on a story by Tom Hewlett, Devin Shatsky, Brian Gomez, and Tom Waltz. Tom Waltz, of course, one of the co-writers of the game who wrote the comic. So it's like, it's still one of the main scenario writers writing the comic to fill in. So it's like, it's not like it's some random other person making it that's not canon or doesn't match up. It lines up perfectly. It lines up so well, in fact, that the scene we just saw in the game is right here. That is the first page of the comic. There's Anne Cunningham losing her grip and slipping and falling. And we see from this perspective that she wasn't just falling into an empty, bottomless pit. There were some weeping bats. There are creatures there So it's like she's already going into her own sort of Silent Hill, her own personal problems that she's working out. And we get a little bit of flashback. Again, this is all what we just saw in the beginning of the game. Going over the characters' names for the sake of people reading the comic. Officer George Sewell there in the top left. Top right is Anne Cunningham talking to Murphy. It's the exact same scene, stopping him before she gets on the bus crashing. Murphy saying, "This is stupid, I'll meet you back down there." Anne falling and about to slip. But from her perspective, from her perspective here, we see she's seeing Murphy already as the boogeyman. And dude, this I was just gonna say, this portrayal of the boogeyman I like so much more than the in-game boogeyman, where the gas mask is part of his face. It reminds me of Friday the 13th Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell, where the hockey mask is just part of Jason's face now.
And what's so frustrating, this is the first I'm seeing of any of this. If they had just done that in that one scene where you're kind of looking at Murphy from Anne's perspective,
yeah,
but he's wearing the mask,
just for a second.
So many things make more sense later in the game.
Just for a second.
All it take is that one scene. That's it.
That one scene with Anne falling and it cuts back up and shows Murphy's face. Show the gas mask on his face like that for a few frames, you know, just enough to make the player kind of be like, wait, what was that? What was on his face for a second?
Yeah. And I don't know if you mentioned this, and I apologize if you did, but the same person who wrote the game wrote the comic, right?
Yeah, Tom Waltz.
Yeah. So it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same guy, same story.
So now this is where we're at in the game. Anne falls, but she survives.
That is so frustrating.
Right? Right?
I'm actually saying it like that would have made so much more sense in the game if they had just put that one little shot in there.
Exactly.
This was released like significantly after the game came out, wasn't it?
Not too terribly long after the game, I think. I want to say
like
like
years,
a year,
but at least like months.
Yeah, I don't think it was obviously like a simultaneous thing where like the game and the comic came out at the same time.
Wow, it came out 2.5 years after the game.
Was it really?
Yeah. The Silent Hill wiki, but this is just a release date that we're dealing with.
Yeah, release dates are.
It said the very first copy came out in September 2014, and this game came out in March 2012.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2.5 years later.
So yeah, you're right. It did come out way later. Maybe this was after then.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom Waltz had time to think about all the plot holes, and he was like, "Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that."
That's true.
And then he had all these ideas, and he was just like, "Fuck it, I'll make a comic."
Yeah. It's crazy still though, because I mean, if he came up with the ideas in September 2014, he could have come up with them earlier. So I mean, like if he just had more time, I don't know what kind of a time frame those guys were on. Because like I said, that other game they were working on, Russian Attack, Expatriate, came out less than a year before Downpour. So I don't know how much time they had to work on Downpour. I don't know if Konami wanted it pumped out like really fast, because there was a stretch. A lot of people don't know this, possibly. There was a stretch in March 2012 where Konami wanted to pump out Silent Hill games, 3 Silent Hill games in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Downpour was supposed to come out on the 6th. Book of Memories was supposed to come out on the 13th. HD Collection was supposed to come out on the 20th. Book of Memories ended up getting delayed by a few months, so it didn't make it.
Yeah,
But
until
Downpour
October.
and HD Collection made it out. So it's very clear Konami had a specific timeline for these games, because they originally wanted all 3 of these games to come out in March of 2012. So maybe Tom didn't have that much time to come up with a story, but it's clear he had the potential to, but maybe he just wasn't given enough time.
Yeah.
Sounds
It's hard to know.
First month.
Yeah, it wasn't the best month.
Oh yeah. So we can see kind of going on with the comic here. Anne falls to the bottom of the pit. and she sees another body, another corrections officer, the bus driver, Kuntz, who got thrown from the bus, apparently, all the way into that gorge. And, look, I love Anne Cunningham's line, "Damn it, Kuntz, you had one job. Drive. Just drive. How the hell do you fuck that up so badly?" It's like Tom Waltz watched one of my complain-throughs and was like, we gotta acknowledge this somehow.
All you have to do is not turn around for 7 seconds.
Is
on
he
that windy, raining road?
Is he on Twitter anywhere? Social media? I would love
Possibly.
to ask.
Possibly. I honestly don't know if Tom Waltz is out there. He probably is.
Love to hit him up and just be like, hey, what kind of time frame were you given to come up with a story? And there's also, you can also think maybe he did come up with all this stuff. Just because you write something doesn't necessarily mean you're working with a development team that is capable of producing it. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, and that's something we'll get into a little bit later as well. There was a bunch of stuff that Neko Run found when hacking the game that Tom Hewlett commented on, where he was like, yeah, these were ideas that we had, but they got scrapped because we didn't have the time, we didn't have the budget, or we didn't have the technical know-how to make it work.
Yeah, he is on Twitter. Just found him
Cool.
at Tom Waltz. That's him.
Easy.
He works for he's a manager and creative development senior editor at IDW Publishing. He is a former U.S. Marine.
Cool. And yeah, IDW Publishing is obviously the ones who put out the Silent Hill comics, including this one.
The nicest guy on your shit list.
Yep. that was in,
Love
that's in
it.
his Twitter bio.
Love it.
And he did censor shit, so he's professional. We don't do that, however.
Nah, not really.
But yeah, I'll put a link to his Twitter in chat. He's got a lot of interesting little comic sketches and stuff like that. Like I see some
Cool.
Ghostbuster stuff on here. Interesting. Yeah, we'll throw him in there. There you go. Tom
Yeah, I see some G.I. Joe stuff as well.
Yep. Interesting. And he's very active on Twitter, it looks like. So
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
might have to hit him up and see if he could answer some questions
Oh,
about
yeah.
this. If he's open to it.
So, I mean, we'll see what kind of questions we come up with. I'm definitely curious on like the development timeline now that I know how far apart the game and the comic were. But yeah, so we see Kuntz here, the bus driver, thrown off, and starts to imagine seeing him come back to life, and realizes, damn, must have hit my head harder than I thought, seeing things. And she kind of takes a little more note of her surroundings. She notices a cave opening and a person standing in that cave opening. She thinks that it's Willis, who was the other corrections officer we saw get on the bus with him. So she's trying to call out to this other person, thinking it's another corrections officer, and goes inside of the Devil's Pit to look for him. And I love the way the Devil's Pit entrance looks in the comic. Look at how it's like a face. Like eyes and nose and teeth looking upwards, and she's walking into the mouth. I don't think it looks like that anywhere in the game, right? I don't remember seeing that anywhere.
I don't recall it at all being like that.
Where'd you go? Dark. Too fucking dark. What the hell? Maybe she's related to Henry Townsend.
What the hell? Let's take a shot if you're playing the Silent Hill 4 game.
So she comes across a wheelchair with blood on it. No, it can't be. Daddy? She finds Frank Coleridge, her father's name tag. And there's a little text there at the bottom that says, "Someday I'm going to have a name button on that shirt, on my shirt, just like that."
See,
and we have
like-
now a flashback that shows Anne Cunningham as a child talking to her father, Frank Coleridge, and look at little Anne Cunningham.
And that is clearly the kid in the game.
Yep, it is very clearly the little girl that we see later on in Downpour. The fact that that is Anne Cunningham is made very, very vague in the actual context of the game. But now with the comic, we know for 100% certainty that is little Anne Cunningham. So we have a little nice flashback scene here with Anne and her father Frank. She's saying she wants to be a corrections officer when she grows up, or as she puts it, I'm going to be a jail policeman just like you. And Frank Coleridge says, you know, why is that? She responds, because I want to beat up the bad guys every day, just like you do. Pow. And Frank lets her know, well, kiddo, hate to break it to you, but my job really isn't about beating up bad guys. It's mostly about babysitting them. Besides, if I'm doing my job right, guess what a lot of those bad guys really are? What, Daddy? They're really just good guys waiting to happen.
Aw.
And
Aw.
that is very in line with his character in the game too, because he really wants to help Murphy. He's all over, like, here's some opportunities for you. Here's this and that, and Murphy like recants, and you'll see it near the end of the game. He's like, you were always trying to help me, weren't you? You know, just like that. So very much in line with who he really was.
Oh yeah.
Very awesome.
And then that last little, you can imagine Officer Coleridge's voice in Cunningham's head still saying, never forget that, Anne. So then she sees a literal hole from Silent Hill 4.
I was gonna say that looks like a Silent Hill 4 hole. What the world?
So she sees a Walter hole that's there for some reason. Now, these holes with the symbol around them, I see them get used in a lot of fan art. I see them get used in a lot of comics and stuff. This is one of those things that, as a fan, it's kind of like seeing Pyramid Head in something else. It's like, those are made specifically by Walter. If Walter's not there trying to get you into his world, you don't see those. You don't experience those holes anywhere else. So now that we've looked at Walter's holes,
another little reference, the blood coming out of the shower head. So
there's a lot of I think Tom Waltz, maybe some of the other guys, but specifically Tom Waltz is a big Silent Hill 4 fan. When you consider all the Silent Hill 4 references that there are, you go into the actual room in the game. We'll go into the room later, so
we will.
So Anne Cunningham continues into this cave, the Devil's Pit, and sees what she thinks is Murphy Pendleton, who's like all bloody in the face. He looks like again, Silent Hill 4, he looks like haunted Henry. When you see him through the peephole, he's got like the blood on his face and the messed up eyes. So she sees a prisoner beating somebody to death. She thinks it's Pendleton. And we can see there in the bottom panel that is not actually Murphy Pendleton. It's Gates. Freddy fucking Gates. I love that we get to know who the other prisoners on the bus were. So yeah, that's Gates. Freddy fucking Gates. Ain't no damn Pendleton here. So she starts seeing this guy as Murphy. He draws a gun on her. A weeping bat shows up and snaps his neck, like twists his fucking face off.
Well, then. No subtlety there.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to some less than subtle moments in this comic. Just wait. There's, some good text versions for the sound effects that you should be imagining. Glurgkhump. And then there's many, many more weeping bats there. More than just the one that killed him. And starts firing off some shots, saying there's too many of them. and someone yells out to her, Miss, come over here. Come with me. I can get you out of here. And
That
she
accent,
comes
though.
across, the name's JP. JP Sater. I run the train. So, we'll come back to JP. We'll meet JP in a little bit. But for now, let's leave off Anne's story right here. Return to Downpour.
We'll leave off here with JP holding a flag,
JP holding the flask.
and we'll see why later.
But there we go. That is the little side adventure going on with Anne Cunningham after she slipped and fell from this point in the game. That very easily could have been something in the game. I mean, maybe not very easily. Maybe not. Obviously, Tom said, technical limitations, budget limitations. You got to make a second playable character. That's a whole nother slew of animations. Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But this game desperately needed that side of the story.
At the very least, it needed that shot of Murphy as the boogeyman.
At the least.
Because then it's that right there.
The flashback.
right
with
there,
little Anne as well, I think.
It would have cleared up so much confusion that you kind of run into, or so much ambiguity later. Because ambiguity is one thing, but being straight up confused and lost is another. Silent Hill 2 knew how to be ambiguous without making you feel lost or confused.
Yeah.
This game couldn't pull that off, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And even I see so many people play this game for the first time, like on Twitch and YouTube and things like that. And they kind of give a little post-mortem and they talk about what they played and what they saw. A lot of people are still fucking confused. Like it's still so many open ideas and so many, I hate to use the word plot holes, but there's just a lot of, in Silent Hill 2, it wraps up.
Sure. And I mean, Silent Hill,
I don't think this one really did.
Yeah, that's the big difference is like Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2, any of the Team Silent games, with the exception of 4, I would say 1, 2, and 3 anyway, they have things that are not explained, but the plot still makes sense even with those things unexplained.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference between making a detail that's unnecessary somewhat vague and making something just incomprehensible for the sake of being confusing.
The story
has to have like a solid framework.
Right.
It has to have a spine.
Incomprehensible. That was the word I was searching for. That's such a big difference. Hey, let's pull out our phone and call this number.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Let me push up on the D-pad and pull out my phone. Oh, wait a minute. There's an inventory. This game has an inventory? That's weird. I thought they said during interviews that they wanted this game to be more realistic. So you can only carry what's in your hands. You can see I've got like a wrench and I can put my flashlight in my hand. But I can't carry like, a chainsaw and a shotgun and a rifle and a handgun and a wooden stick and a steel pipe. But I can, though, because there's an inventory. But I can't, though, because they said no.
They did. They smacked that down.
Also, that sunlight effect. Like, if we're gonna talk about the good things in Downpour, I love that, how that looks.
This one?
No, well, I gotta see if it catches up. I'm on, that one. A little bit of stream delay, but yeah.
It looks better in certain moments. There's a few spots where it's like this, where it's kind of going through branches and trees, and it's like, oh, that looks pretty good. Whenever you have like a big open spot where you can
Yes.
see it directly, you're just like, ooh,
Oh yeah,
they smeared some Vaseline.
yeah.
Have you seen this dog? He was lost on Tuesday, the 12th of July. Responds to the name Carl. Carl. Any information leading to the finding of my dog will be rewarded with $500. Call day or night. 673-555-4210. Dead or alive.
But does he respond to hand banana? That's the one.
No.
You Aquatine fans will know what that means.
Just Carl.
Yeah, his name is Hand Banana.
Oh, God, you're so good at that.
Tonight, you.
Oh, hey, what's this? A map. Oh, it's beautiful. Maps are another thing that are optional in this game, by the way. You can absolutely go through this whole game and never, ever, ever pick up a map.
Correct. What is that? Yeah, that thing on the wall. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm looking at? Well, you can look at the radio first.
Yeah, I'm messing with the radio because it does.
Yeah.
You can kind of hear like Silent Hill music coming through the static.
Mm-hmm. They do that. They reuse a lot of Akira's old music on radios and other little random parts of the first half of the game. I don't really hear it so much in the second half, but first half, you get these little random Akira tracks.
So there's a newspaper article there. John P. Sater, murderer? I don't know. Those newspaper men are goddamn fucking liars.
That's what I hear.
Can't quite read that one.
Student helps trace UFOs?
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what it says.
You can read it better than I can. I need a new TV.
Awesome.
It's that sharp bit rate you're streaming at.
It's the
Student
the
helps
power of the
trace-
Xbox One.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are playing this on Xbox One backward compatibility. This is the true power of Xbox One. We've upscaled these poster textures, but it says either track or trace, but that's definitely a UFO reference. Interesting.
So,
You want to explain this really cool mechanic now?
yeah, a couple of cool mechanics here. So first of all,
I love
there was a lock on the door, and this game has weapon-specific progressing items, similar to Homecoming, where you need the fire axe to cut through boards, and you need the dagger to cut open paintings and things like that. So this is pretty much the same, where certain weapons can be used, like wrenches and little clubs and rocks and things like that can be used to smash locks on doors and get through them. And the only thing that sucks about that is every single weapon that you can pick up in this game, guns included, are all breakable. And anything can break from fighting, from blocking, from hitting too many locks with it, from whatever. And if you happen to lose your necessary item, you got to find another one to progress. Because if you've got a hook on a pole, that's not going to help you break any locks. You've got to have that specific thing to get through these areas. And on the one hand, I kind of like that. It's sort of real world puzzle solving. But it's done in such a repetitive way that you just see something and then you're like, oh, I need to break this. Oh, I need a hook on a pole. The other great mechanic that's being introduced here is a returning favorite from Shattered Memories, the door peek mechanic.
Yeah. There's some really odd choices on things they brought in from Shattered Memories.
So here's where we learn about this mechanic. The game is teaching us, we can open doors slowly now. And the first door that we're learning to do this on is a gate that we can see through.
We can see right through it.
Oh, what's on the other side of the door? It's kind of spooky. I'm not so sure about this. Maybe I'll find another path. Oh, there isn't one? Then what's the point?
What if there was an enemy though?
What if
That would
there
be
was?
so hot.
What if there was? You would think in this entire game they might do that more than once. They do it exactly once. There's exactly one time where the game has an enemy that is unannounced in a room where if you open the door slowly, you'll see it, and you have another way around. That's it. It happens one time.
Oh,
The
I just
game-
mean like if you could see
did it
through the
once.
gate. Like if you could see through the gate and there's nothing there, but then you open the door and suddenly there's like
And all of
thing
a sudden
there.
there's an enemy.
Ah!
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that we'll see what happens with that later with enemies
Yeah.
popping out of nowhere.
We sure will.
We'll get to that one.
Mhm.
We'll see that scenario.
For those of you, and to kind of bounce off that, for those of you that have seen our last few playthroughs, Origins, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, this game is not a short game. Just so you know. So,
No, this is
there's
going
a
to
lot
be
to see.
this is going to be a
So get-
long playthrough, and I'm
Get
again.
comfortable.
We're taking our time. We're stopping and talking. We're throwing wrenches at birds
Hell yeah, get
'Cause-
comfortable.
because that's what the game told us to do.
Threw it right at Raven, the Raven on the fence.
Right at Ravenheart.
I'm not gonna say responding to chat. I wouldn't say 24 hours, but
No.
I'd say we're probably gonna. I'd say we're probably gonna be good for 12 at least.
Yeah, probably about half of that. We'll probably hit 12.
When I do my weekly playthroughs on my channel, Silent Hill 4 and Downpour are typically the longest.
Yeah,
me.
same. Because usually with Downpour, whenever I would do in-depth playthroughs and stuff, without doing everything extra, you know, looking at everything and doing all the side quests and everything, it still takes 9-10 hours. I figure probably another 2 to 3 hours at least
Oh yeah.
for a lot of side content. So, little things like this, the game kind of teaching you about stuff. There are alternate pathways sometimes that have to be opened. There are cranks that are spun by spinning the analog stick. If you came around this way, saw the bird, the game tells you to throw your weapon at the bird, and you threw it too high. Whoops. See, like, I'm throwing it where it'll still stay on this side of the fence. But if you throw that shit... Oh, why won't it go up? Well, whatever. If you throw it the right way, and you throw it over a fence or in an area where you can't get it anymore. So let's say I lost my wrench. Sometimes becomes, you know, a little easier to just open up another pathway. Loop back around. And get a weapon from an infinitely spawning toolbox like this. So it's like all these little things the game's kind of teaching you. I don't really have any complaints about any of that. My only real small gripe with it is that to do all these things, it puts a big dumb pop-up on the screen for you, telling you what all these things are. You know, hit the lock with a thing to break it. You can open gates slowly. Press R2 to throw the thing at the bird. Instead of all that, everything here was dynamic enough, the way that it's set up, that even if you don't know what you're doing, you would figure all that out. Like, the hand-holding is not so necessary, and it would actually feel a little more like you're actively learning the game.
Oh my.
Jesus, what was that?
That was some rhythm.
Someone ordered some pizza, or
Possibly.
someone's at the door?
This is an element of Downpour I was not aware of. That was not me, by the way.
I don't know whose mic that came through.
I wasn't looking. It's either going to
It
be
was
Techie
not
or
mine.
it was probably Techie then, because he's not saying anything. And it must have been that UFO chaser.
Let me double check my door real quick, I guess. Be right back.
Yeah, that was definitely not me. I'm nowhere near my door.
It's like that one scene in Silent Hill 1 where you're shutting the door on Lisa.
Oh yeah.
And then there's that knock, and so many people actually think that someone's knocking like on their ceiling or some shit.
Maxie, have you ever played Downpour?
I have not played it, no.
See, Raven's only played it twice. He's not with us right now, but he's only played it twice. Do you have a means to play it?
Okay.
I don't have a copy now.
Don't have a copy? We might need to work on that. We might need to get a blind playthrough on your channel at some point, because I loved watching Raven play this for like the first or second time. It's so fascinating watching people play this for the first time.
Yeah.
It's totally different than watching it. And I think that'd be extremely entertaining.
So, just kind of wandering through here. There's some little detail stuff to look at in the environment. There actually is, little things being hinted at. Devil's Pit Aerial Tram, free ticket for kids who beat our escape game. So there's your little hint about the escape game that we're going to have to do in a little bit. A natural wonder filled with subterranean myths and legends, disabled access for wheelchair users, and the wheelchair person in the poster all scratched out. So we get a little bit of foreshadowing for the Wheelman, as he's known. And we'll be encountering the Wheelman throughout the game. And there's like some scrapes in the wood. Everything leaving this trail here. Again, you don't need any kind of pop-up or tutorial or anything to kind of handhold and tell you where to go. It's like, hey, look at the environment. You got this trail kind of leading you along, trying to show you where to start, what to do, what to look at first. Working rules.
These game tokens look ancient.
My first time playing this game, I absolutely missed those game tokens and had to come all the way back for them.
Yep.
Free tram ticket. So where the hell's the machine?
So instead of little tutorials popping up constantly throughout the game, instead we get Murphy doing that, kind of stating the obvious to himself. Mentions the free tram ticket. Oh, look at the quote. Be free. Get free ticket.
Be free, get free ticket. Again, this development team from the Czech Republic, there's a lot of things that did not get translated properly. Like oftentimes over here in America, not to say there's one right way or a wrong way, it's just a localized thing. You'll see the number part of the date come before the month, and that's typical, I think, in Europe.
Yeah.
But in the United States, the month comes before the number, and they didn't really localize any of that. So
yeah, the game has some pretty questionable localization stuff throughout.
That's why it kind of, I don't want to use the word trigger because I don't mean it like that, and people use it for meme purposes. But it kind of sends my bells off when people talk about these being, I guess, like the Western games, because a lot of them were developed in Europe. So,
well, Western Hemisphere.
Yeah,
is
that's
usually the
just
general
anywhere
term.
that's not Japan.
That is that is the general context that it's more used in today. Is anywhere that's not Japan is quote unquote Western developed, but Western in that sense comes from, countries, continents, places in the Western Hemisphere. Oh, hey, look, Silent Hill's only 1 mile. 1 kilometer. It doesn't really specify. Again, as somebody living in the United States, I would assume mile. Anybody living anywhere else might think kilometer. One of those things that there was always a lot of discussion over with Silent Hill 2. Like the sign that says how many whatevers to Brams. It's like miles or kilometers. Seems like too much to be miles. Still too much to be kilometers.
Is every goddamn road in this town washed out?
Oh, Murphy's getting pissed. Every road washed out.
He'll comment on some things, but not a whole lot. It seems the stuff he does comment on is interesting.
A little, I feel like a little bit of it is too much, especially once we start getting into the side quests where he's talking to himself, explaining them directly. There's something weird about this mirror.
Well, yeah, what I should have better explained that. What I meant by interesting was he tends to talk when it's not really needed.
Oh yeah. I'm cool with that because it's that same sense of flavor text that you would get by like examining something in in any other Silent Hill game.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Flathead V8.
Flathead.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. I love it.
Like he's just about to smash it. You see him pull his arm back.
What?
Ready to break that window.
I said she's a wicked old beast.
That's a good point. Like I fail to notice that sometimes.
But to each his own.
Look, I don't want.
He totally was about to break that thing.
And I'll keep right on going.
Now, who said anything about trouble? Just trying to be helpful, son.
This is Howard Blackwood, by the way.
Murphy.
Decided to say that right as he introduces himself.
Heading to prison, are you, Murphy?
Just looking for a way out of town.
It's the merchant from Book of Memories.
I was gonna say you've gotten very familiar with him.
I have. That man sold me boss-killing, god-killing flamethrowers.
Did you see it? Up there in the window.
At the very least, Vatra Games was able to do that focus thing that Hijinks couldn't do in HD Collection.
Oh yeah, they actually know what depth of field is, and
they totally just nailed it.
Yeah, they know what depth of field is, and they know how to apply it.
I'll take my chances.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
Well, this mail ain't gonna deliver itself. Good luck, Murphy. Hope you find whatever.
So that was the wheelman, by the way, the disfigured person we get a glimpse of up in the window.
So someone in chat said, "Oh wait, till this is over."
It's over.
Someone in chat said, "So is he real or is Murphy imagining?"
So Howard's real. Oh, look at that. We're done talking to Howard and it starts raining.
At the very least, Murphy is not imagining. So.
No. Murphy is not imagining him. Howard Blackwood is a real established character. Once again, this is something from the comic books, something that Tom Waltz, one of the other Tom Waltz comics, called Silent Hill Past Life. I do not have that one queued up to show everybody. But yeah, if you're interested more in Howard Blackwood's backstory, he plays a role in the Silent Hill Past Life comic series. And for a little bit of history on who Howard is, we'll get into that because it's sort of important for the setting of Silent Hill in this game. Because it's very different from Team Silent established games. Like, this game is very much doing his own thing. So that's Howard Blackwood. Howard Blackwood comes from Silent Hill Past Life. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna respond to chat. Yeah, Blackwood is his last name.
Oh, yeah.
That is from the game. So yeah, yep.
So Howard was originally living in Silent Hill in the 1800s. He was a slave who basically he was the slave that was sent out to capture and bring back other runaway slaves. He eventually turns on his master and kills him. And for that, he gets stuck living in purgatory in Silent Hill as the postman, because that was his job at the time. So that's Howard's little bit of backstory. And like I said, that completely changes the way Silent Hill is depicted. In Team Silent games, Silent Hill is a physical town with a spiritual power around it that is altering reality based on the mind, the dreams or nightmares or beliefs of different people. In Silent Hill 1, the power is taking Alessa's nightmare and applying it to reality. In Silent Hill 2, the town is taking James, Eddie, and Angela's nightmares and mixing them all together. In Silent Hill 3, we're seeing Heather / Alessa / Claudia, all of their nightmares in various points throughout the game. With Downpour, that is completely out the window. Instead, Silent Hill is a purgatory. There's no normal town. There's no, reality going on. This is a separate place of existence. A whole different dimension for people to exist in purgatory. Howard has been here since the 1800s. JP has been here for however long. DJ Bobby Ricks, who we'll find a little bit later, has been here for who knows how long. So the town in this game functions fundamentally very different from any of the towns we've seen them before. Come back here, we get a little audio.
You can't undo anything you've already done, but you can face up to it.
I must have hit my head pretty damn hard in the crash.
Yeah. So Murphy hears a little audio clip, and that's actually we're going to discover the voice of Officer Coleridge. Officer Cool Ranch, Anne Cunningham's father. So we know that he had some kind of a relationship with Murphy. And usually any of those little audio flashes that we get give the impression that it was somebody that Frank Coleridge was somebody who respected Murphy and cared about him, was trying to take care of him and help him out. Got to complain about something. I'm sorry.
I was gonna complain about that lock not being on anything.
Oh yeah, just kind of
knocked over. It's not actually hooked or locking into anything.
Yeah, it's just floating under the doorknob. I was gonna complain about these windows.
Go for it.
Yeah. So look at
Those
all.
look like shit.
Yeah, and look at
And
all of them.
They're the same.
Exactly the same. And this is another one of those big problems that I have with the game, where traditionally with Silent Hill games, and not even just Team Silent games, Shattered Memories showed us that original and minimal prop reuse can be done really well and make really interesting, explorable environments. Like, Shattered Memories showed us they can do that. They can do that on Wii.
They can. They sure
And
did.
on this hardware, PS3 360 hardware that this was developed for, we can't get more than one dirty window texture.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's not just that. Like, it sounds like I'm picking out something very small, but as we go through the game, it's not just that. You're going to see doors and blinds and entire kitchens and entire buildings just copied and pasted.
It's representative of a bigger issue where it's just like no attention to detail in some cases.
Mm-hmm. You can definitely see that some areas it seems like they worked on them more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh food is good. Camariton.
It sure is. I hate that rotten food.
Yeah, I always prefer mine being fresh.
Hot take. Rotten food, not so good.
Fresh. It doesn't say fresh, it says frest. Frest quality. Frest quality for you.
For you.
First quality for you.
Because what does it say up top? Because it contains
sorbery.
So many
things
that are good for you. Because it contains fresh food is good. Oh my god, fresh food is good because it contains so many things that are good for you. Frest quality for you.
Fresh quality for you.
Oh, finest.
Oh, finest.
Finest quality.
Finest quality. Okay. That's a little better. That's a little better. That's better. Yep. See, the Xbox One has helped us read these a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
For those of you wondering, this game, at least one of you might be, because I did it one. This game does not contain any Xbox One X enhancements. It's just a backward compatibility upgrade. It upscales the game to 1080p and smooths out the frame rate, and that's about it.
Yeah, and I mean,
it does help considerably.
Yeah, and I mean, I only output to the stream at 720p, 60 FPS. So even if the game is rendering in like 4K, it's not going to really.
Something happened to our Discord chat? Like, I can't hear you as well.
Oh, yeah, you guys got a little bit quieter for me too.
Oh, you're fine now. I think I saw what happened.
Did I bump something or?
No, I'll type in it. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yeah. Just making sure. Hey, toilet flushing action.
Hey.
Take a shot.
Hey,
It's
Hello.
Ravenheart.
you like cars?
No doubt about it.
Flathead V8. What's up, Raven? How's it
How you
going,
guys doing
man?
today? Sorry, I'm late.
You're good. You're good.
We
know.
told him you were putting in work this morning. I told him about it. That knife only.
Huh, I actually finished all those.
Oh,
My
nice.
first ever Silent Hill 3 knife only run. I actually finished it.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude.
We let him know you're putting in work. We all got our own streams too.
They won't miss it.
No biggie.
How did
It's
that
so
go?
hot.
What
It
did
went
you-
good.
What time did you get?
I don't remember. It wasn't really a speed run or anything, but it was pretty good. Pretty
Your
good.
wife came into the chat earlier and asked if you were still alive, and I was just like, shouldn't
We
you
don't know. You should be telling us.
I know you should be letting us know that information, but
She just leaves me every day.
Oh,
But
Silent Hill.
she also said she was eating, and I didn't want to interrupt that with conversational conjectures.
I see.
I was just like, okay, he's okay. He'll show up whenever. Ravenheart is here. We have everybody here now.
Welcome, Raven. We're listening to
What's
the
up?
Silent Hill 1 theme right now on the jukebox in your honor.
Nice. Let me hear.
Isn't that great?
No doubt about it.
I love it when I'm playing a game and it reminds me that there are better games in the series that I played before.
Like, oh, here's a piece of music from a better game, made by better people.
Like, I definitely understand. It's like, okay, you're making a new Silent Hill game. You want to try to convince the fans, like, it's every bit of Silent Hill that the originals were. We've got some of the same music, and we occasionally put in some static camera angles, and it's like, you're kind of missing the finer points. If that's all you look at as far as like wanting to make something Silent Hill.
Just throw in those references to old, better stuff, and they'll buy it. Come on, man! It's the recipe for success.
I bought Downpour because I remember Silent Hill.
Yeah,
it works.
Like it says at the end of every credit sequence from almost all those later games, it says special thanks, and at the very last line I say, and to all fans of Silent Hill.
To all Silent Hill fans.
These musical cues are their way of saying thank you to all of us from those original games.
Thank you for being suckers.
So who wants?
Thank you for continuing to give Konami money like I did. I bought this game on day one at full price, so they thanked me intently.
That's all right. At least you got your own Pachi slot, so you're not giving him any of that.
I've got one of the Silent Hill slot machines.
Not giving him any of that Pachi slot income.
And Konami didn't get a cent of that, so
no.
But they may DMCA me if I upload it on YouTube. We'll see. I don't care about YouTube, so we'll see what's up.
So who wants to read about the early residents of Devil's Pit?
I will. Okay. Early residents of Devil's Pit. Did you know Native Americans used to call Silent Hill home? Anthropologists know that because of the various artifacts found here, specifically in the cave system surrounding Devil's Pit. A number of these relics indicate ceremonies being held for the deity Quickwaxawi.
I always go Quickwaxaway.
Quickwaxaway. Sounds like something like Egyptian or something. Suggesting his importance to the people here. In fact, one of the names given to this area was Quickwaxaway Kenezda. Nest of the Raven.
Oh! No wonder he wanted to read this.
That's you.
That's a me. Hey kids, is Silent Hill a special place to you? If you were naming this area, what would you call it?
Yeah, chat. What would you call it? Let's see let's see some suggestions. What would you call it?
What should it have been called instead of Silent Hill?
And that's an interesting reference. Didn't an earlier game say that the town had a different name, but it's long since been forgotten?
Yes.
Yeah, that's from it's from the Book of Memories in Silent Hill 2.
Yep.
Silent Hill 2, yeah. Interesting. I don't even know if they were aware of that when they wrote that in.
So this is that name. It was lost to history, but don't worry, Tom Hewlett found it. Name.
Yeah, we found it.
Tom Hewlett, Tom Waltz, they found it.
No doubt about it.
They read the books.
As a hook. You used to use this as a hook after playing Silent Hill 2 when you read the Book of Lost Memories. Oh wait, no, it was the what was the book you? What's the name of the book you read? For the right by the.
I was just gonna say, I know we were asking for names of the towns. Centralia is not, so knock it off. Let's see if you that's Centralia. I don't want to see that.
Hi, Raven.
What's up, Techie?
I'm back.
Techie, was
Welcome
that
back.
you who we heard the door knocking on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if you guys heard that.
That freaked us all out. Like, I got up and went and checked my door.
Yeah, I had to talk to landlord real quick.
Because that knock is like the same way my friends knock.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Shaving a haircut.
Like Walter knocking on Eileen's door.
that's a really ominous knock. That's how I should start doing it. Like that really slow knock.
Yeah. That'd be funny if Walter did knock on her door like that. Thing. Pretty good.
Shit. Or Frank.
Yeah.
Anyone hear me?
You in there, Henry?
Henry! Are you in there, Henry?
Oh,
Fire. fire.
Lately, it's started to smell real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, hey, whoa! This kitchen's on fire. And you
Yeah.
know, Murph, fire, fire,
This kitchen's on fire.
Fire! Fire!
Anything happen
City
if
Hall
you
fire.
actually like wait here? Because I've actually never tried that.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
happens.
think on my last playthrough, yeah, I just kind of stood here and nothing
I
really
would not
happened.
expect anything.
Oh,
to
let me
happen.
let's check though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
right?
at 80% here.
Yeah, this is how you check your health, by the way.
Okay, so you can see my clothes got bloodier, so I definitely took damage. Let's see how much damage fire does. 20% per hit.
Yep.
I don't think I ever died to the fire, so let's do this.
For anybody that hasn't played this game before, you have to track your damage on Murphy's clothing. Oh, is it killing him? Okay, it is. You have to track your damage on Murphy's clothing appearance, but if you want specific numbers, you have to pause the game and go into
There it
statistics.
is.
Yo, that fire stabbed him.
It did. It got him.
Yeah, my
Ganked him
kidneys.
right in the shoulder.
And there
Yeah.
are random tips here on the loading screens.
Oh yeah, and some of them are things like "Stop lying."
Yeah, some of them are like messages, presumably from Coleridge, to Murphy, kind of interspersed.
I think they're just messages from the developers to the players trying to be spooky,
possibly
where it's
yeah.
like
I mean,
they
that's
are
clearly-
always watching you.
That's
It's like-
clearly what they are. You know, I'm trying to be a little creative here, more than they
You're
were.
you're being more creative, yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't take that much effort.
There might be leaked messages from the creative team to Tom Hewlett.
Well, it's like I was a big fan of Mortal Kombat, and Ed Boon used to do all that in the earlier games. Like he just put these stupid little messages in there, look to La Luna, and all this stuff.
Oh, but those were your hints to
Find characters.
find
and,
characters and
yeah,
unlock stuff.
finding Reptile at the bottom of the pit.
Guys, look, it's downpouring.
Guys, look, it's Beauty and the Beast. What the hell is this? When the castle turns from the Beast Castle to like the normal one, and the spell's broken, and everything turns all gold and shimmery.
Why is there a sprinkler system in the kitchen? A lot of places have those for fire extinguishing. That's not uncommon.
Not at all.
You know, when I was a kid watching Beauty and the Beast, you know the one thing I was confused about the most? How did his pants still fit when he turned back into a man?
I don't know. These are the questions that need to be asked. That's not. These are the deep questions. All right, this is a fun gag hallway here.
Oh, we're not quite. Well, yeah.
Oh, that's not the one. Sorry. Or is it
Yeah.
not?
No.
No,
Well,
not yet.
Wow.
We
It's
could-
different when I'm watching this. I got a little overzealous. We all know I love that hallway.
I just like looking at all the little. There's like these little gross vein things. They're like,
Arteries.
and they look like they're just filled with gross water,
Tar.
like downpour water. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
some of these
Yeah.
are like just dark, like it's just a black texture. There's no other.
They kind of resemble synapses, like brain synapses, like the way they're shaped.
Yeah.
Not a bad observation there. Yeah, that actually kind of is what that looks like.
A little bit cooler visual stuff here now with like
Air
the
conditioning.
a little bit cooler now that the air conditioners are
Like that cooler air conditioner.
Yeah.
Comedy. No doubt about it.
completely
No doubt about it.
completely intended. But yeah, I like the decrepit hallways and stuff up on the walls where it shouldn't be.
It's kind of a throwback to Silent Hill 2 as well.
Yeah,
I was about to say that. Yep, those little hole rooms with everything on the walls. Yep.
Remember Silent Hill 2?
Yeah, remember that game that we could be playing? But it's interesting when you see things like that, because you have to realistically sit here and think, did the development team know that? Or is it just a happy coincidence that they kind of got close to it? I'm going to say happy coincidence
You
based
think?
on their previous work. Yeah.
I feel
Eh,
like
I
I feel like these guys at the very least watched. I don't know if they all played it, But at the very least, somebody on the dev team, like Tom Hewitt or somebody, made him watch the making of Silent Hill 2.
True. They could have done that, yeah.
To get an idea.
And I mean, Twitch was in its infancy at that point. Maybe they watched somebody stream it. Who knows? Or watch some YouTube Let's Plays. Never know.
Even if that was the case, I don't expect any developer to ever admit to that.
No.
Oh no! It's time for Shattered Memories running segment.
Yep, complete with Shattered Memories mechanics.
Yep, mechanics that don't make sense in this game. We're gonna get a prompt here that tells us how to look back.
Yeah.
There it is. It's the left bumper.
Why would you ever need to do that?
So that you can see this thing that does nothing but kill you and always looks like this. There's no reason to ever look back at it. Not to mention, this game is not a fixed camera Silent Hill game the way that like other games were, and it's also not a Wii game like Shattered Memories, where you've only got one nunchuck analog stick to move your character. So in this game, you know, if you want to look behind you, you don't push this button. You rotate the camera to look behind you.
Don't see another way.
I mean,
that's all you do. There's no need to have a button.
What is this here for? Why is this here?
And you can even still do it outside of this.
I can look behind me and then push the button to look behind me more.
Yep.
It doesn't even like change depending on the orientation of your camera. It only changes depending on the orientation of Murphy.
Yeah, it would make sense if it was a first-person game, like in Outlast, where you can look over your shoulder while you're sprinting because it's a first-person game.
Exactly. This is
totally nonsensical.
Exactly. For a third-person game with a free controlling camera, this is a completely wasted button.
And Murphy's always got that hair that puts it. Drives
And it's time for the slide.
Six Flags over Sunset.
Please don't
Put your
die.
hands up, chat. Put your hands up.
I was doing speedruns of this earlier in the week, and I died on this slide.
Dude, these parts, like, I always think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
There's so many, because the physics get all wonky when you're sliding like that, and there's certain parts of the slide that like they will just fling you in a direction, and you can completely just be like, I'm steering to the left now, and it'll just throw you to the right side of the track.
Yeah, they're super slippery, like, controls. Like, they feel like they lag.
When
not help things.
When they were putting out preview videos of this game before it came out, like at E3, that water slide deal was one of the main things they put in the video.
Yeah.
And everyone was just kind of like,
Oh, what is this? What is this?
It was just like, okay.
See, what if they would have just shown stuff like this? Like, ooh, topsy-turvy room. There's water like going the wrong way. It's all like MC Escher and shit.
It's the crazy stairs.
You got some Born Free going.
Born free.
As free as the wind blows.
Like these parts,
check the rocks itself.
Like these parts of the game and stuff. Like these look okay. It's a little uninspired. That was the first thing when I saw this. I wasn't like, oh hey, cool, look at this neat original area for a neat original Silent Hill game. I went, oh hey, cool, somebody played Alice Madness Returns.
Yeah.
And like this whole room is actually pretty big, and all the stuff like you could see in it. But literally, you just walk up one step and steps and turn one thing, and
yeah, it's not.
you're done.
If this was a bit more of an actual puzzle, this could have been a lot more interesting. But yeah, it's just run from point A to point B and flip the switch. It's like you flip that one to rotate this part. Then you can go into that room and flip that one. That gives you this room and these stairs.
Well, at least not. It's not like later where you have like a shit ton of enemies trying to kill you while you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So Raven, I just want to clarify because I was asking Maxie. He said he had never played this. You've played this, I think, twice, right?
I've beaten it twice. I've played it 3 times.
Okay.
I rage quit 1 time.
Because I remember watching the last time and just talking about how unbelievably interesting it is to watch people play this game when they don't really know what's coming.
What part did you rage quit on?
I rage quit on like the part where you're getting into toward the end of the game.
I'm gonna guess.
Where you Oh, go ahead.
No. I've got a guess in my head.
It's like toward the end of the game, like right when you start getting all the enemies, like fighting all the enemies after the orphanage.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. I was gonna guess when I played this game the first time, I almost rage quit in the prison section where you have to face those 3 enemies at once.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, right. Where you get the little cutscene,
The guys on the leashes.
Yeah.
And then you have to do the puzzle that you can still be attacked in while you're trying to figure out a puzzle. I almost said fuck it on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that part is very annoying.
That's right after that fight too. It's like both pieces of shit at once. Like that was the part of the game where I gave up trying to rationalize. I was like, well, this was a wasted $60. That was it.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, nope, no good. But we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
No rage quits tonight.
Nope, none. We're in it to win it tonight.
I wonder if there would ever be a game that would literally make 5 grown men rage quit all at the same time.
I don't know.
Actually playing it.
If there was a game that came close, it'd probably be this one at some point.
Or Book of Memories.
True. Well, you quit that out. That'd be like a boredom quit.
Yeah, that's not like a rage quit. That's just a boredom quit.
Yeah.
I came very, very close to rage quitting The Evil Within several times.
See, that's weird. I like that game, but I totally understand what people do. I'm not going to even fight or argue for that game because I totally understand it, but I enjoy it.
No point fighting and arguing over it.
Could I tell you what happened in The Evil Within 1? No. But I like the gameplay. It was in.
You don't remember all the super deep lore
Ruvik.
with Ruvik and his tragic history?
I remember the names. That's about it. But Evil Within 2, I thought was a little bit better. But I totally get why people don't like it.
Oh yeah, there's our trick.
This is the gimmick hallway.
Yeah.
If you just keep yeah.
We can just
Evil
keep going up.
You see, to me, The Evil Within is one of those games where you kind of have to play it enough to where like it clicks. The gameplay clicks.
Backwards long jump. Backwards long jump, Murphy.
See, and that's another thing too. Like I bought Evil Within the day it came out. So if there's any situation where you're going to be super critical about a game or a purchase, it's going to be on a day where if you paid $60 for it. And even then, I was just kind of like, this wasn't that bad of a game. I enjoyed it. I didn't have buyer's remorse. It was not the greatest game I've ever played, and the story could have been told way better. But I've played worse games, such as Silent Hill Downpour, in my opinion.
We're shitting on this game so bad already.
Nah, we're really not. That was just trying to be a joke.
Again, we've definitely been detailing our complaints, and as said, at the end of this playthrough, for me personally, I definitely have more complaints than I do positives. But that, like I said at the beginning of the stream, that doesn't mean the game has no merit. It doesn't mean that I just think the game is absolute trash. Like, there are things this game does that I enjoy, and there are things that it does that I think are good ideas. It's just not enough.
Good ideas with potential.
There was a lot of potential, but just not quite enough.
And again, like we said with the timeline, I don't think that they may have not been given enough time to work on it. Depends on how strict Konami was with getting this game out for the time frame that they had announced.
Chair percent. I'm gonna bring this chair with me everywhere. Make sure to flush all these toilets. You can interact with every single toilet in this game, and it's never ever used for anything. You can also climb up on these boxes. Yay!
Oh, you guys already talked about how every dirty window has the exact same texture?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did. I think that was like right before you showed up.
Same thing here with like these boarded up windows, copy textures, all these bits of furniture, these tables, these chairs, those AC units. We've already seen like 4 of those AC units now that we've pointed them out. This painting of the flowers in the vase, these stack of books. Literally like every single prop you see in this game is reused, and not just a little bit, like everywhere,
like gratuitously.
It's like one of those Unreal Engine games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is an Unreal Engine game.
It is an Unreal Engine game.
It is.
But,
yeah.
But it's an Unreal Engine game from 2012. You know, it's not. This is not Half-Life 1. They shouldn't have to repeat that many textures for the game to like function well and still also look okay.
You know, it's the kind of thing you expect from like a student project or something, or like maybe like a plucky little indie developer trying to make it in this world. Like, no, this is backed by Konami.
Yeah, this is a triple A game title.
It's lowercase a's though, not uppercase.
This is a triple B.
Konami didn't give them enough of a budget it's enough to get the letters. So.
What?
Yay! Exploring extra rooms that are not on the speedrun route.
Remember,
oh,
if you
look
tell
at that.
the truth,
Coleridge.
you don't have to remember anything.
Exactly. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. What kind of advice is that? You don't. as long as you tell the truth, you ain't gotta learn shit.
Someone thought that was really deep.
Someone really did.
Yeah, what the intent there is, if you tell the truth, you don't have to lie. But yeah,
I'm sure, like me in middle school, if I would have been born a few years later and played this game at a different time of my life, I would have been like, "Oh, that's so true."
Oh yeah, I would have written a big live journal post about it. This is so deep. I love Silent Hill.
Tried to include those words into lyrics of like a stupid like acoustic guitar song or something.
Oh yeah, real story. One day I just randomly decided to write all of Stanley Coleman's journal entries from Silent Hill 3 on my live journal with no context or anything.
Oh, nice.
A lot of people freaked out. I was like, good.
I remember back in the live journal days, I did a sequence of posts that matched up with the dates of the journal entries from Resident Evil 1. The guy that eventually becomes a zombie and Itchy Tasty.
Itchy Tasty.
Itchy Tasty.
So I did that whole journal entry day by day as I was going through like all those dates on LiveJournal like many years ago.
I used to do that like on MySpace, but with like Tool lyrics. I just like write random Tool lyrics, and people are like, "What is that? What's going on? Are you okay?"
Yeah. Oh, look at that. 26381.
Oh.
We're doing puzzles. We're doing side quests, everybody.
We're doing it.
Look at me, everyone on YouTube who complained when I did a story playthrough and said, you can't properly tell the story of this game if you don't do the side quests.
Oh, bull.
So here we are. We're doing them, everybody. Doing it just for
YouTube
you.
Comments.
Doing it just for you, YouTube comments.
Hello?
I'm excited to 100% this game.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
the other day I decided to finally go through my YouTube comments because I hadn't looked at them in a month. Somebody on my HD collection review video called me angry weeaboo trash or whatever. It was very good comments.
Oh shit! What was it?
Fucking weeaboo trash, I think he said.
Yeah, that was the code.
That was the code.
And what's so funny on those angry comments, it's usually the same person writing like 4 or 5 separate different comments.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get your attention.
2-6.
I'm just like, couldn't you have put them in
3-8.
in one line?
The try-hard commenter.
Yeah, they're like, who really want to get his attention? As if I look at those comments more than once in like 6 months.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
either the guy who hates everything you do or the one who's overly supportive.
Yeah.
You ever notice like whenever you do a video or something, or like you stream like one of the older Silent Hill games in the series, usually you don't get a lot of people that are super angry or like calling you names. But it's like when you're playing like some of the newer ones, like this one, you know, or the ones made, you know, like made by Tom Hewlett, like you get the really angry comments and things like that often. I mean, it probably varies from time to time, but it really always seems like I get the more toxic people from the Silent Hill community when I'm playing the newer games.
Yeah,
that's just my experience.
I can see that. It's just those are the games that incite more negativity because of what they are. So I think it just makes everybody more negative.
I kind of learned some weird things by following Tom Hewlett on Twitter too. The people that follow him. People that follow him are very rabid at times.
like negative or positive?
Both.
Because I was gonna say I've seen both. When I did my HD collection videos, I had a very small group of Tom Hewlett fans like really fucking attack me. Like they were making like personal insults and things like that. Not that Tom Hewlett, I don't think he approved of that, but there's a small subset of Tom Hewlett fans that were not happy with me or Twin Perfect for those videos.
Yeah, just the other day, he was doing posts about saying how you can't post 2 screenshots of, like, he was talking about Super Smash Brothers or something like that, or Smash 4 or something. Like, oh, you can't post 2 screenshots and compare them to each other and say that that's proof of something. And like he did his own post doing 2 screenshots of Shattered Memories on 2 different hardware. And all I did was posted a totally innocuous comment that I was like, actually, it looks the best emulated on the Wii. You know, the emulation for Wii.
The Dolphin,
yeah.
And like that was totally that didn't mean anything. And like a bunch of people just started going in on me, like, see, this is what's wrong with the community.
You're not supporting them. You're emulating, as if you haven't bought every game in
the games that aren't available anywhere.
As if you haven't bought every game in the series.
Yeah. I have 2 copies of Shattered Memories, the Wii and the PS2. Give me a break.
I don't think there's a single Silent Hill game in the entire series that I have not bought only once. Konami's gotten plenty of my money. Like, as far as any time I ever do anything emulated and people tend to bring stuff up like that, and I'm like, I've bought Silent Hill 1 probably a dozen times since 1999.
Yeah.
And not just used from like,
same
other people either. Like, I've bought it for myself. I bought it as gifts for people. Like,
I've bought copies of 2 and 3 for channel giveaways, like the legit copies.
Yeah, that's right.
I gave them away during an HD collection playthrough because I was like, here, play the real things. Don't play what I'm playing.
All units be on the lookout for wayside inmate transfer buses.
And I have, oh wait.
Check in and drivers not answering radio. Possible TC. Over.
Little bit of radio chatter there about the other police officers finding the crashed bus. So the accident area just got found, and Murphy's hearing that chatter on the radio.
I like how, like,
Sorry, what were you saying?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so it's kind of a confirmation that it's not like some otherworldly thing. It's like actually a thing that happened.
Yeah, that it. Well, I guess Murphy could still be imagining what's on the radio too, like his paranoia is setting in or whatever. But yeah, it is there to enforce like this has happened. The bus crash and all of that stuff pretty much happened.
Like, but for some reason you don't hear anything about how there was a giant like hole in the road, like the road was just gone there. Like there was no reports on that or anything like that. Like, just yeah, there's just no road there. It's fine. Don't gotta worry about that.
TV on, TV off.
TV on. Oh.
Oh, did you break it finally? Nope. Oh,
now off is on and on is off.
I didn't know you could do this.
Yep. Now it's fixed. Don't worry.
Now it's fixed.
I switched it back.
All right, I know what memo is coming up here, and I nominate Maxie to read this.
Maxie, you've been nominated.
I want Maxie to read this.
You've been chosen.
You've been chosen. Maxie, you there? Oh no.
Rip.
Maxie. He has been dealing with a I don't know if he said anything publicly. He's been dealing with a house issue recently, I will say. So I don't know if that came up.
And I mean, Maxie already let us know beforehand, like,
yeah, he let us know that there's an issue that he's been dealing with at his residence. So,
well, since you were so quick to nominate,
I know. I guess I got.
It's on you now.
It's on me. All right, here we go. Now, we'll try to keep up here. Silent Hill Downpour does these memos really weirdly with the 3 sections instead of just.
Yeah, before you start reading it, I guess we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So, So instead of just, you know how every other Silent Hill game, when you pick up a note and you want to read that note, it just puts the note on the screen, like one whole page for you to look at, so you can read it, like all of it. If it's a particularly long note, it'll have like another page. So you'll read all of the first page, and then you'll press A or X or space or whatever. You go on to the next page, and there's more note. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it works. For whatever reason, Silent Hill Downpour decided that here's how we're going to do memos. You pick up memos like items. They are physical pieces of paper. You put them in your journal, a physical book that you keep in your prison wallet. You pull out your journal, and you get this. 2 pages with button prompts that sometimes cut off text at the bottom. And it's a little too far away. It's not zoomed in on the book, so it's a little bit hard to read sometimes. Luckily, you can see there, button prompt. Oh, okay, toggle zoom. But what's this? What the fuck is this? What is this? Why is this the zoom? In the middle of the book where the spine is? Like in the middle? Oh. Well,
Yeah,
if you
right
use
on the spine.
if you use the right analog stick, you can go between pages, and it's split in between 3 sections, top, middle, and bottom, regardless of where they put the text on the page.
Now, to be fair, if you zoom it out, I can still read it, but it's still not optimal.
I got to get some glasses or something because, like I said, I need to get a better TV.
Yeah, I just had to put my glasses on.
See, I'm not bragging. I don't have glasses, but I mean, I can still read it, but it's not easy. It's not optimal anyway. It's still poor.
I can read this as it is, but if I was just playing this game for the first time, I didn't know what any of these notes were, and I just wanted to read them after picking them up. This is such a bad way to do it. Like, either look at just small enough to be not great for reading, or just awkward enough that going from section to section on the journal gets really old really fast.
Yeah. So yeah, if you just want to leave it zoomed out, I can make do.
Alrighty, it's all you.
We don't have to synchronize when you having to move it down. All right, so this is the memo. It's only one page, right?
Yeah, it's just that one on the right.
All right. Room 5B. Returned to room at 7:51 p.m. Showered. 8:10 p.m. Shampooed hair 2 times. In bed. 8:42 p.m. with pink nightie and no panties. Lights off at 9:23 p.m. after reading Fashion Magazine and drinking a glass of wine. Cheap Zinfandel. Room 102. Ordered room service at 5:32 p.m. House special fried chicken dinner with milk. Ate half while watching news program, then put tray outside door at 7:10 p.m. Clipped toenails until 7:32 p.m. Left the clippings on the floor. Watched TV rest of night until bedtime, 10:35 p.m. Wore oversized men's button-up. Sheer. Room 6A. Shaved legs! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. At 8:20 p.m. in bathtub. In bed by 9:30 p.m. Sleeps nude. Snores loudly. Room 103. Long phone call to a boyfriend. Boyfriend? Ended at 5:22 p.m. Argued the entire time. Cried herself to sleep.
So is this like some weird stalker, like taking notes of what he saw?
Yeah. I'm presuming that it's just somebody who is peeping and
right?
Just
So you got to presume, right? So what is this? Are we in like a bed and breakfast that was renting out a couple of rooms? Okay, sure. Who were those people? How does any of that matter?
Yeah.
How?
Oh, 5B was definitely my room.
What?
There you go.
So
Such a mood.
This is my problem with like. So that's not even a side quest. That's just a note. That's just a note.
It's a big problem.
That's a note for you to pick up here. But this is my issue with like the side quest thing, is that none of them, well, not none of them, 98% of them are completely pointless. They have no relation to the characters in the game, no relation to the scenario that's happening. Like, I guess you could make a comparison there between the person writing this is probably a pervert, and I guess so is Patrick Napier.
Probably.
But Patrick Napier wasn't looking at fully grown women in rented out B&Bs.
He was not.
He was after little kids.
He was. Little boys.
So it's like, who is this supposed to apply to? Is it supposed to be like, what, did Murphy's wife come here after she left him? Was she the one arguing with her boyfriend on the phone the whole time?
Yeah. Like all of these side quests, I just have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try to stretch it.
Yep.
It kind of reminds you of Shattered Memories.
Yes.
It kind of reminds you of Shattered Memories, but at the same time, in Shattered Memories, at least those were kind of somehow linked to the overall plot.
Yeah, they were
those little.
They were a little more relevant.
Loose links. Yeah.
They were a little more relevant, at least. Like some of them, like we had pointed out, weren't. It was hard to tell. Like, oh, what is this supposed to represent? Did Cheryl do this? Did she go into the woods and take drugs and drown in a sewer thing? It's like, she's still alive and going to therapy, so you would think no. So it's like, how much of that applies to Cheryl directly? Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same thing in this game, where everything that comes up, you can kind of look at it with some context, but it doesn't apply to the game as a whole.
Look at character.
Yeah.
It's the guy from the bus.
It's that one guy from Con Air.
They say his name once in the comic, and I have already forgotten it.
I was also gonna go with UFC legend Dan the Beast Severn as well. He's got the mustache.
I thought you were gonna go with Bob the Beast Sapp.
I would love it if he was in this game, though.
That would be.
All right, there's the 3D effect. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
a 3D compatible game. So they gotta have those 3D effects in there.
Ugh, combat in this game is so annoying. Make sure you don't stand too close to a wall, because he swings so wide he's gonna hit the wall. It's like just trying to play knife only in an old Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
For those of you that do not know Bob Sapp, I'm going to put a very relevant link to a video in the chat. Just a moment.
Murphy, you got anything to say about this poor guy? Here you go, buddy.
By the way, did I miss? We talked about the giveaway and everything we're gonna do. And
Yes, we talked about that at the beginning, and we're actually coming up to the end of this segment, and it's going to open up back into the main town here.
Panel's busted.
So it's been 2.5 hours. I think at this point we may go ahead and take our first break.
Yeah.
And do our first giveaway.
How are we doing the giveaway? Have you decided?
I have not. Does anybody have a good way to randomly pick someone in chat? I have kind of a way to do it. Oh, I think I can also do it through my bot.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, if you've got a bot, it'll have everybody in the chat. Because I have a Twitch extension that does that, but I have not had it on, so it hasn't been able to populate names.
So we'll
but if you have a bot,
right
it should be able to pick somebody.
Give me a second to see if I can do this.
And for those of you, while he's doing that, for those of you that don't know, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're going to give away 3 digital copies of the comic and 1 physical one. Is that correct?
4 digital.
4 digitals, okay.
4 digital and 1 physical copy. So for right now, we're going to, and that's for the Anne Story comic book. You can see a couple of the comic covers there on the screen and the current page where we are, where we left off reading about Anne meeting J.P. Sater. We're about to meet J.P. Sater ourselves in a little bit as Murphy. But yeah, this comic book and story covers a lot of the plot holes and missing information and stuff.
Yeah, like just a little of it we already saw explained so much about that first interaction with Murphy and Anne that would have helped so much.
Mm-hmm. See. All right, let's see if this works. This is open to everybody. It is not sub only. You don't even have to be following the channel. You know, if you want to try and get yourself a copy of Anne's Story. This is for a digital copy. Anybody, doesn't matter where you live, you can redeem this. You have to make a Comixology account, but I can send you that information. It's just comics with an X, ology. So comixology.com. I'll put a link in chat and stuff. Like I said, I'll give you the information. It's a free account to make. Once you make the account, I'll send you a digital version, and then it is yours. Free to read, download, backup, do whatever you want with. So, type !Anne.
There we go.
ANNE If you would like to win a digital copy of Silent Hill Downpour Anne's story, type !Anne in chat.
Do you do you want to take a break while everybody's doing Anne, or do you want to just do it before we take a break?
Let's go ahead and do the giveaway first,
do it?
and then we'll take a quick break here.
Cool.
Again, !Anne in chat, and that's open to everybody. You do not need to be following, subscribing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say, do you want to like, let's say it's 8:03 where you are. It's 8:03 and 35 seconds. You want to go to like 8:05?
Yeah, we'll do 8:05 on this. So a little less.
So you got about a minute and 20 seconds left to get !Anne in the chat.
ANNE.
ANNE.
Hey, have you guys asked for me at all?
Yeah,
we asked
wanted
you to read once.
We wanted you to read a dirty memo.
That
I
happens
nominated
every
you,
time.
and then you were gone. And I had to read it.
It's all good.
I'm always the one who's going missing.
We know you're dealing with a scenario at the moment.
Oh no, actually, I caught him already. He's gone.
Oh, nice.
I didn't say what it was for, I don't know how much people knew.
Yeah, one of those one night stands,
Yeah, believe me, I know all about.
It was me last time, remember, with the mouse, and it was trapped in the trap, and I couldn't do nothing about it. I just had to hear him struggle for like 8 hours.
Yeah, that was awful.
Nub was like, "No, don't tell me."
So horrible.
All right, we got 25 seconds left before it's closed.
!Anne, if you want to try to win, we're giving away 4 more digital copies during the stream and
15 seconds.
And 1 physical copy later on as well.
10 seconds.
This is for a digital copy. Anybody, anywhere in the world can claim this. !Anne, last chance.
Bam! All right, it's 8:05 local. What we got?
I'm waiting for mine to tick over. There it is. Pick the winner. Might Moo.
Bingo.
Might Moo. MIGHTMUU. Might Moo.
And we are. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, Might Moo, if you are there in chat.
There we go.
There you are. Damn nice. Thanks.
There is.
Might Moo, if you can, shoot me a message. You can whisper me on Twitch. You can type !Discord and let me know on my Discord. You can let me know at @NubZombie on Twitter. Go and message me. I would preferably on Twitch so that nobody else pretends they're you.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody on Twitter might be like, "Oh, I'm totally." I might.
Yeah. So just send me a whisper. Send me a whisper on Twitch.
Yeah, and we're giving away like 4 more of these, so no worries if you didn't win.
Yeah, we got 4 more. We're gonna give them out about pretty much every time we take a break, every 2 hours or so. Let me get over here. Make sure I can read my whispers because Twitch is dumb.
Yeah, they don't put them in the chat anymore. Interesting design choice.
Hey, there you are, Might Moo. And just so everybody knows, like if you do win these, like the digital things, all you need to claim that is a valid email. So you do have to have a valid email that I can gift this to you. But that's all. I don't need I'll need an address for whoever wins the physical one. But for all the digital ones, all you need is a valid email that you can use to redeem the free comic. And I will be giving those out at the end of the stream. So once we have all the winners decided throughout the whole stream, once the stream is over, I'll send everything out. Everybody should get their stuff. Digital things will be like instant, and the physical one, it'll take a bit, but you know, we'll get all that information sorted out. But again, congratulations, Might Moo. Yeah, just let me know that email in the whisper, and you are good. Congrats again. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a break here, guys. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We're going to all take a moment. I definitely want to stretch my legs, grab a drink. And we will be back with some more Silent Hill Downpour in just a bit.
We'll be back before you know it.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Back in a second.